Hi, my name is Caleb Wegner, and today we're going to talk a little bit about cross-country travel tips and tricks. Over the last 3 years, my wife and I have had the opportunity to go on internships to the East Coast, and every year we've made the choice to drive rather than fly and buy a car or anything like that. So, I'd like to share with you a few of the things that we've learned along the way. So we're going to talk about basically three things: how to plan your adventure or your drive, what some of the possible pitfalls are, the avoidable pitfalls, and then also we're going to talk a little bit about how to budget for your trip. So with that, let's jump into the first one. First, planning your adventure. There's a few websites that'll help you. One of the ones that I really enjoy using is called Road Trippers, and you can log on with Facebook and sign up an account, and then you can pick certain destinations that you want to stay at along the way. And so you can see here from the picture that you can set certain destinations. It tells you distance. You can plan hotels. There's a lot of different things that you can do with this website. A little more clunky, but also usable, is Google Maps. You have to add individual locations. It doesn't do so much with sightseeing and things like that, but it does work pretty well. So those two options for planning, and make sure that you know where you want to go and the things that you want to see. Avoidable pitfalls. Now, the first trip, my wife and I went the 2,600 miles, and we did it in 3 days. By the end of it, I'm pretty sure that we were teetering on the edge of divorce. So it's not recommended to spend really long days. We basically, over time, just developed that we drive only during the day, and we start finding a hotel as it starts to get dark, because that's the easiest way and you can see more stuff. The other pitfall is that you don't plan enough time on your stops, that you plan all your time for driving and you don't set aside time to stop and see things. Again, you'll end up putting in too long a days. And the last one is don't trip over dollars to pick up dimes. Now, what do I mean by this? What I mean is that oftentimes we don't want to spend money. We're cheap college students, or we want to do it cheap with all our family. And so we don't budget money to stop and do the specific things that we want to see. Oftentimes they seem like they cost a little bit of money, but when else are you going to be there? So it's definitely worth stopping and seeing those things. Spend the money, and the memories are totally worth the money that you'll spend, the exciting things you get to see. So our last point, along with tripping over dollars to pick up dimes, is going to be budgeting. There's three things that you're going to budget for: gas and food, hotels, and fun. So the first one, gas and food. Food, it's not really an avoidable cost. You can shop and keep food in a cooler, but you're replenishing ice and it's kind of a pain. It's definitely worth it for snacks, but also Yelp helps to be able to find good places to stop and eat that are cheap in random places that you've never been. As far as gas, there's a website called Gas Buddy. There's also an app, Gas Buddy, that you can download. You can put in your location, your destination, and where you're starting from, and also the type of car. And Gas Buddy will go through, and based on how many gallons of gas you can put in your car and what gas mileage your car is rated to get, it will tell you where to stop to get the cheapest gas. It'll tell you exactly how much to fill up so that you can save money along the way. It actually works pretty good, and it's fun because as you're driving along, you can stop and look at gas stations and plug in their cost and help other people that are coming behind you or going the other direction or what have you. It also helps people like us who are trying to budget and figure out the cheapest way to get from point A to point B when we have to stop and fill up gas. Really quite a cool website. I would love to see the algorithms behind how they go about planning that. As far as hotels, you can get creative. There's always the websites that you can book last minute deals and they're cheaper. If you're single or it's you and a couple of friends, this cool website that my wife and I found called Couchsurfing. Now, I've used it once. I went to Boston, and what it is it's a community of people that'll let you crash on their couch. And it's free, and people can come and stay with you. You can go stay with people. The kid that I met, he was an engineer, and it was really fun. Every single day I'd go out and do what I had to do, and then I'd come back and meet him at his house, and I'd crash on an air mattress on his floor. And it was really nice, and it was free. It was really fun. Yeah, there's an element of risk to it, but boy, the risks outweigh, or the fun outweighs the risks. Definitely worth it for saving money, and you could try to do it all the way across the country. There's always people. There's even people on couch surfing in Salt Lake. So totally worth it. And then the last one, fun, is, as I talked about earlier, making plans. This picture that you see is of the St. Louis Arch. In our last trip across the country, we went a little further south and went down through Oklahoma to visit some family. And on our way through St. Louis, we debated over spending the money, whether or not we wanted to go to the top of the arch, because it cost a little bit of money. And we decided at the end to pull the trigger, spend the money. We have a service dog. She's a Great Dane. And my wife was 7.5 months pregnant. So we crammed into the little elevator thing that went to the top. And it made for a great memory. It's really fun to say that my Great Dane's ridden the New York City subway. She's gone to the top of the St. Louis Arch. And we spent the money to do it together as a family. So definitely budget for fun. Budget for things that you want to see, even if you think they're going to cost money. So to recap, be sure you plan your adventure. There's cool websites that'll help you to pick your route. Avoid the pitfalls. There's a lot of people that have done it many times, and I've talked to them, and these are some of the things that they and me, we all kind of agree that this is the best, the worst pitfalls, the best things that you can avoid, if that makes any sense. And then last, be sure that you budget for gas and hotels and food, and most importantly, budget for fun so that you make memories. You don't always have to buy stuff, but you can definitely have fun. And who knows, maybe along the way, you'll run in and meet people, new interesting people like we did with Steve Carell in the picture here. So I hope you learned something, and hope you enjoy your next cross-country trip. Thanks a lot.